Looks like Ariel Helwani was wrong. Charles Oliveira vs. Islam Makhachev is not happening on January 20th, as it looks like Islam wants to stay out for a bit, but now we have an official announcement from Dana himself that the January 20th card, starting 2024, is going to be headlined by Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis, the fight that needed to happen, the fight that a lot of people wanted, and deservingly so, Dricus earned by beating Robert Whittaker in the fashion that he did, undefeated in the UFC, has finished almost all of his opponents, riding the longest win streak in the middleweight division currently. He absolutely deserved this shot, and I'm so happy they're giving it to him. And it's also going to be a pretty interesting fight, where Dricus is going to be the more well-rounded fighter of the two, and Sean Strickland is going to be the more technical striker of the two. He's going to be able to defend a lot of Dricus' attacks. I think Dricus can get a little bit wild with his boxing especially, and it's going to be difficult for him to land the meaningful punches on Sean Strickland, who's going to Philly shell, block, roll with all the punches, counter with some of his own, put the jab on Dricus, and hopefully Dricus has the kind of cardio to go 5 rounds, because that's going to be Strickland's game plan in this fight. Drag him into deep waters and drown him. But the thing that Dricus does have to his skill set here is the fact that he should be a better grappler than Sean Strickland. Mix up the boxing with the wrestling, take him to the ground. He could take you down from the clinch, as shown in his Robert Whittaker fight. Good trips, good throws. He could shoot the double, he could shoot the single. He's very multifaceted with his takedowns, and his submissions are absolutely top-notch for a middleweight. Now, Strickland has been talking a lot about that he can grapple. He's been grappling for a bit. It's just he hasn't shown it yet, right? He hasn't shown it in a very long time. And so far, his takedown defense has actually been looking pretty good. Just Abus Magomedov has taken him to the ground, which actually in hindsight doesn't look too great these days. And it does tell me that Dricus is probably going to get him down at least once in the fight, which is why this fight is going to be a very interesting one. The more time goes on, the more I do like Sean Strickland's chances in this fight. It's just Dricus has so much power, he can change the fight completely. He is the bigger man, he's going to be stronger, so I just wonder if Strickland's grappling is good enough to get up and avoid those submissions. We haven't seen enough of it. We know Dricus can grapple, it's just we don't know for sure if Sean Strickland can. But the feeling I have in this fight is that once the 4th and 5th rounds come, I see Dricus slowing down. Right, he comes out pretty quick, he puts on a fast pace, he tries to implement his will, beat you up every which way he can, and a lot of times he does expend a lot of energy doing this. And I just see him slowing down. He's never been to the 4th round before. We see him get tired before in a 3-round fight, although he couldn't breathe out of his nose, so he got that surgery, which could have changed a lot, but we just haven't seen it yet. Since that surgery, he's only gone to the 2nd round, and so far has looked pretty good doing it. I mean, the 2nd round finish against Robert Whittaker, he did not look tired at all, but this fight is most likely going to go in the championship rounds, and I think that's where Sean Strickland's home is going to be. I think that's where he's absolutely going to shine in this fight. Early on, I can see Sean Strickland putting on a kind of game plan that he did against Abus Magomedov, letting Dricus kind of expend his energy, work enough where it makes Dricus work to the point of exhaustion. I can see that being the game plan that Strickland goes to, but I don't know if it's going to pay off, especially knowing that Dricus' cardio is better than it was before he fought Whittaker. But as an early prediction for this fight, I think it's so close, very hard to pick. Strickland has the cardio and the striking, and a bit of grappling improvement that we've only really seen against Abus Magomedov, and that honestly didn't look too great, which makes me think that Dricus can absolutely pull this off. But then again, I don't know if Dricus can go 5 rounds. We've not seen it before, and the only thing we've seen about his cardio going 3 rounds is that he does get tired in the 3rd. With or without the surgery, I need to know that to be sure on the pick of this fight, because that is probably going to be one of the biggest notes going into this. Can Dricus go 5 rounds? As that is going to be Sean Strickland's approach to this fight. A lot of pressure, put the jab on Dricus, make him work constantly, throw punches and missing, because the more punches you miss, the more tiring it gets. And we know that Dricus throws power punches most of the time. And if he's missing all of those punches, he's only going to gas out further. And if he gets his takedown stuffed, he's only going to gas out even more. So that's why the cardio is such a big thing in this fight. It's very hard for me to pick without knowing that part. So I guess as an early prediction, I would pick Strickland merely because of the cardio and the ability to defend most of what Dricus throws at him. But then again, I'm not too sure. I don't really know at the moment. But I'm very happy about this fight, starting 2024 with a banger And then you have to think what happens to Hamzat. Well, Hamzat has a hand injury. And the fact that he could not fight this soon means that either one or two things are going to happen to him. Number one, he sits out for a title shot. But he is a number 9 ranked contender, right? So how can you give a number 9 ranked fighter a title shot? It's kind of weird in that sense when you look at the rankings, but he did beat Kamaru Usman on the scorecards. And he was said to be given a title shot after his fight with Usman. So maybe when he comes back, he gets that, regardless if it's against Strickland or Dricus. But I have a feeling they're going to give him another fight. I have a feeling they're going to give him like a Jarek Cannonier, or if Adesanya comes back or something. Because I cannot imagine Hamzat is out too long, right? If he's not out too long, I could see the fight with Cannonier happening, or he gets a title shot, which are both interesting fights for Hamzat Chimaev. So leave the comments below. What do you guys think about this fight? Do you guys like the Strickland and Dricus fight? Do you think it's the one that needed to happen? Who do you guys think wins this fight? And what do you think happens to Hamzat next? I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to give this a like, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video.